Coach, can you talk first about Lexi and the recruitment of her and what she's going to mean to your program?
Yeah, so it's a great day for us yesterday when we got the paperwork on her, and we're thrilled, first of all. And I think, it was a concerted team effort in getting her here, from the community when she arrived at the airport to during her time on the visit. She was able to visit with Coach Sharp during our game. Coach Beard stopped by. Just a number of people involved with her recruitment. Our staff did a phenomenal job with her and her family and getting them to believe. We were in some tough competition. It really came down to Texas A&M and us. And it just her belief in the vision and her trust in us and maximizing her ability were two of the bigger reasons why she ultimately chose to come here. And she really wants to put Texas Tech back on the map again.
From just a player standpoint, can you talk about her just as a player and what she'll bring?
Yes, I get really excited when I think about it because her style of play fits how we play. She has a big time ability to score, and she can do it in different ways. And she's able to play more than one position as well, and that's something that we are really looking forward to, especially in our transition and being able to open up the floor and how well she can knock down shots is something that's really going to propel us quickly.
Does getting a player like her commit help you with others and telling your story and then accelerating your progress?
You nailed it, and that's last 48 hours or so for our staff has been we were holding tight, waiting to get word, and we actually got word after the game on Saturday, right? Yes, after the game on Saturday evening, she called me, and she actually watched the game and decided to come. But in terms of what that does is it gets that next top tier, that next 5-star kid to say, hey, I want to go play with her, because great players want to play with other great players. And she just opened the door for that. It really started back with Andrea and Emma. I have to definitely give them credit for making that transition initially in terms of transfers. And then someone like Lexi and in all the national media and how she's been embraced in this transfer here, and all of the recruits and the prospects we've been on the phone with in the last 24 hours even, it's gotten everyone's attention, and it really definitely opens a door for other great talent to want to come here and play with her.
Coach, we talked to some of the girls who kind of told us, each player has 4 to 6 goals on the season, and then you have the team goals. How do you evaluate the goals you've achieved to this point, and are you satisfied?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we're always greedy as coaches. We would like to be undefeated, and as players as well. But, the thing that I'm going in there and we're going to talk about today is we're, depending on if you count 3s and 2s, we're approximately 7 possessions away from being undefeated right now. And we're going into the Big 12 play on a real high. We have our best performance in our most recent game, and that's how you want to go into Big 12 play. So they're feeling really good about themselves. And Jessica's done a great job of putting together rankings. You look at the Big 12 rankings individually and as a team. You look at the national rankings for our players, and it's just phenomenal the categories they're sitting in right now. Zuri's absolutely dominating rebound. She's first place in the Big 12 in multiple rebounding categories, and it's just I couldn't be more excited and happy for them, because when I took the position and looking at the immediate future of this year, one of the things I wanted so badly was for the returners to experience success, and to be able to experience success early, and to know that they were capable of doing that. And that's the part that really makes us feel good as a staff, is that they're able to experience that and know what it feels like, and to gain momentum and confidence going into conference play.
And kind of leading into that, from a coaching perspective, what are your goals for this team when it comes to Big 12 play?
Yes, well, for us, I'm going to stay true to what we keep talking about, daily progression, because if we're taking care of the things that we can control, we're going to come out on top in some Big 12 games that maybe people didn't think that we would, and our hope is that we surprise some folks. I mean, we truly are going to be very aggressive and hungry going into Big 12 play. We know it's a daunting task. We know there are teams that are on paper ahead of us, and that's factual information. But we definitely are going to put our best foot forward every single night, and we're going to fight to the death in these games. And our goal is to play in postseason in some capacity, and we're going to keep our eye on that prize.
Coach, what problems does Oklahoma present, and what do you know about their team going into Wednesday?
Well, they're a very young team, so I hope that our experience plays out in some areas against them. But they have freshmen and sophomores out there most of the game. They lost most of their upperclassmen last year to graduation. So they have the leading three-point shooter in the nation, three-point field goals made per game at 4.6. That gets my attention really fast. They have a couple, they returned the Big 12 Freshman of the Year in Pellington. So they have some players that are more stationary shooter type players, and then they have a good combination of a couple of kids that are able to put the ball on the floor and are very quick, and they rebound the ball well. So for us, it'll be staying true to what we've been working on, staying true to the scout, staying true to our advancement, and playing the way that we want to play. I do like the matchup going in there for us. I do think that it's a great opportunity for us to open up Big 12 play. But everybody, the biggest thing when you go into conference play is you have to elevate. Everybody's going to elevate. The intensity, the physicality, everything goes up a notch. And I'm hoping with some of the veterans on our team, they obviously know that. They've been through it. And I'm hoping that is to our advantage versus some of the youth that Oklahoma is going to be bringing into the game.
You mentioned your Cece goes into that. Jessica just told us she leads the nation freshman scoring. How does she transition from non-con to Big 12 play? I mean, what do you want to see from her? Because you just mentioned it there. It's a completely different monster.
Yes. Well, with her, we won't talk a lot about it just that way. We'll steady is what we want from her. We don't want to put too much on her plate. In fact, we've not mentioned a ton about her scoring, and it's happening within the system of what we want to do, quite frankly. We're not really putting her out on an island and demanding that from her. It's happening within the play of the game. It really helps that we have strong inside presence. I mean, that it makes it hard for teams to pick and choose how they want to guard when you have a solid point guard scoring, a scoring point guard, and you have a solid 5 player who's averaging a double-double in Brittany. So with her, we just want to keep it steady and not put extra pressure on her, but at the same time help her understand what she's going into. We typically room an upperclassman. Missouri will be her roommate on the road, so she can help talk to her, back at the hotel and just kind of let her know, show her the ropes a little bit and explain, what's coming and how you have to be ready for it and that it will go up a notch.
Has Cece surprised herself and maybe even you a little bit with how well she's been doing?
I'm not sure how she would answer that, but for us, when we saw Cece play, and we had seen her play prior to coming to Tech, you see someone that has tremendous speed, athleticism, and you don't really get too caught up in her lack of size because she's able to make up for that with quickness. And then you have someone who has the ability to score. So I think that's always dangerous if you put them in the right setting and you allow them to utilize those abilities. She's got a ways to go. Let's be very clear in the room. As she is a freshman, she's still learning and growing all the time. And one of the things that we're working on with her now are reads. Reading the defense on double teams and single coverages and things like that. So, but she's advancing quickly for her age, and as I say, being the only freshman on the team, which is really hard to be in that position. But I think she's handled it pretty maturely to this point.
What would opening up Big 12 play with a win mean to you and this program?
Oh, well, get a big smile on that one. I think it would be great. It is just a game, but, in some ways it's more than just a game because of what we're coming off of last year. And I think, we just keep the momentum going forward. We're coming off of a great 48-hour period with the win, the dominating win, and then signing Lexi. And it's just a real good spot for our program right now, so I'm hoping we can play off of that and keep it going.
Just kind of going back to Lexi, do you know what her eligibility status is?
We'll know more as we get deeper into it. Worst case scenario, she's eligible to play next December after fall semester ends. Best case scenario is we get a waiver and she can play, either earlier next year or get the year back and something along those lines. She will not be playing this year no matter what, though.